of people in this car, traveling in excess of double the speed limit.
Very young teenagers involved.
No lying to me anymore, okay?
There was feet and hands and legs just hanging out of the bottom windows. I was just like, oh God, please don't let there be somebody dead.
I like this air horn.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's large and in charge.
Large like us.
That's better.
Reporting Delta. You will do a call rollover. Possibility of 4 patients involved. Undetermined injuries at this time. They did state that there were 3 other patients that are possibly left to see.
People are fleeing scene. Chances are that they were drinking or something too, right?
So this call is just outside of town, still within the city limits or just on the edge?
She's dark out here.
Okay, slow down.
Right here. Look at this. There's a lot of lights. We arrive on scene. I see the vehicle in the ditch on its side, lots of tire tracks all over the gravel road.
You were in which vehicle?
He was a driver.
Driver of this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
When we got there, there was alcohol all over the road, all over the ground.
We're kind of presuming that they were drinking.
You could kind of see the tracks where they came around the corner, punched her, and then lost control and ended up right there.
Were you wearing your seatbelt?
Yeah.
Were airbags deployed?
No. I had 4 of my buddies,
Yeah.
and then a couple girls hopped in. I don't know who the girls are, but they ran.
My concern when I hear that some people have fled the scene of this MVA is, are they trying to hide something?
Innocent people don't run. They've done something wrong.
Okay, come with me. You're okay to take a couple steps?
There's booze everywhere.
So you weren't drinking?
No, I was sleepy tonight.
They pulled over at an approach not too long after the train tracks, shut their lights off, so the headlights, tail lights.
So what exactly happened here?
Say we got about 2 or 3 car lengths away from them. The lights come on,
We were at another party and it got shut down, so we're going to another one.
and they beeline her off the approach.
And everyone was yelling and shouting at me.
All of a sudden you see dust just flying out from the back.
I got aggravated and I kind of,
2 fish tails.
You jerked the wheel or what? Did you do that on purpose?
I was expecting to come to a fatality, to be honest.
Any questions or anything for me?
no,
Before we... No? You just feel kind of upset right now, right? Is that your car you were driving?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were driving, they upset you, you jerked the wheel.
The only person I seen that was buckled in was the driver. Everybody else was laying in the bottom of the SUV. There was feet and hands and legs just hanging out of the bottom windows. I was just like, oh God, please don't let there be somebody dead.
This kid is telling me that he had no drinks, that he was the DD, when he obviously smelt of liquor.
You do smell like you've been drinking.
Yeah,
So no lying to me anymore, okay?
To be honest with you, I had a little bit, but if
How much is a little bit?
I had maybe 3.
Okay. Well, you can go with this officer right here, and it's his turn with you, okay, bud?
With impaired drivers, the person that's been drinking and driving usually isn't the one to die. It's usually the other people that are involved in the collision or the passengers. I don't think these kids realize how lucky they are. I've seen people die from a lot less than what they've gone through.
I think this kid is lucky to be sitting in the back of a police car right now, as opposed to being transported to the hospital in the back of an ambulance.
That kid just reeks of alcohol.
I remember being in high school, being in the back of a car, very similar situation to these kids. I hope the fact that they were all able to walk away from this tonight, they learned something from it and can move forward.
Reporting Delta for multi-vehicle NBC. Multiple patients on scene. 1 vehicle rolled.
10-4.
We have multiple people. Probably be like the 2nd or 3rd car in. We should have triage complete by the time we get there.
We arrive on scene and see 3 significantly damaged vehicles. That tells me there's a high force of impact.
Right here. You can't miss this. We're the 2nd ambulance on scene. Our job is to communicate with that 1st ambulance, find out who is most sick, and transport that patient first.
I'm gonna dump beds and you're gonna take my tickets, okay?
Okay. Is he on your bed already?
Yeah, we're just packaging him right now. So he was the driver. We had 5 people in this car. Yeah, they're doing the front, 3 in the back. Driver's the worst. They're doing in excess of 100 when they hit the car.
100?
Yeah, you're gonna have to take a look at the car because it looks pretty bad.
The dangers of this are astronomical. 5 people in this car, traveling in excess of double the speed limit.
This is the driver. Very, very large damage to the driver's side.
12 to 18 inches intrusion on his A-post.
You're going like 100, 110, ETOH, we don't know?
Admitted ETOH.
ETOH is simply the medical term for intoxication.
It's hard to imagine that this young, inexperienced driver is traveling over 100 kilometers an hour down a residential street.
This was a parked vehicle.
Yeah. He's probably going over 100. He lost control and then started to fishtail, and then I just saw the one side come up, and then he made contact with the 2 vehicles that were there.
Do you remember the whole accident?
I do.
There's no periods where you're kind of foggy?
All I remember is hitting it and flying around the bus.
Did he climb out of here?
Yeah. He was sitting here, leaning against the car.
Other patients are being assessed, and there are some very young teenagers involved.
So the girl in the blanket didn't want...
No, Dad's gonna take her.
Yeah.
Coming home from work, driving this way, and this car went zooming by us.
Turns out this witness got a bit of a surprise.
But your daughter was...
in the car.
Okay. It's not a good night.
No, it's not something that I was planning on having.
No.
Every paramedic has shown up to a call that has much less extensive damage, but much greater injuries. So the fact that these patients walked away is almost a miracle.
I always enjoyed helping people, and in this job, you get to see people at their worst.
1967 debases were 10-8. Go ahead with details.
And also in a way at their best. Because when somebody's having the worst day of their life, they seem to have an ability to rise above it and show this fortitude and this strength that amazes you sometimes. And it gives me a lot of satisfaction to help people through that situation and that experience.
Base to 23, you're responding for an MVC involving 4 patients. Reports of someone laying on the road.
Age unknown, gender unknown, consciousness unknown, breathing status unknown. Multiple patients involved for...
23, we've just got an update. 3 confirmed patients, 1 that is pinned.
1 that is pinned?
10-4. When I hear somebody is pinned, I'm thinking, are they pinned up against a tree, in between another car, in their own vehicle?
Let's go check out this guy.
It makes the entire situation a lot more complicated.
I'm just gonna take a look first at him. We roll up on scene to see this tiny car crumpled up next to this massive piece of road construction equipment. It had to be at least 10 tons.
Driver's pinned.
Okay.
Elvis is hurting.
Okay.
Joanna here, everything hurts.
Okay.
Her legs hurt.
Okay.
I don't think she's wearing her seatbelt. I think she held the front seat.
Okay. It's
and then
her.
we got a guy laying down on the side here too.
I walk around the car to find our male patient laying on the ground, and I'm worried about how he got there. How did you get out of the car?
Just pushed the door open and got out.
Okay, is anything hurting right now?
My stomach.
Can I sneak in here?
Yeah.
What's your name, ma'am? What's your name? Jamie. How fast were you going when you hit this? 50 or 40?
I'm assessing the driver, and her seat has been pushed so far forward that she's actually lying over top of the steering wheel.
You weren't going that fast. Okay.
Oh. Okay, you got some abrasions on your hip bones here.
Yeah.
He's complaining of abdominal pain. Does your hips hurt? Yeah. I can't see what's going on internally, but he could very well be bleeding from a vital organ.
I'm just gonna feel up your neck, okay? Any pain here? No. Any pain down here?
Yeah, it's starting to my toes. It's really bad.
Let's see if we can get you out of here and over to the ambulance.
When a vehicle is traveling at 60 or 70 kilometers an hour, everything in the vehicle is traveling at 60 or 70 kilometers an hour.
We need to get this jacket off you.
Everything comes to a full and complete stop, including stuff that's in your body.
Okay, we're good.
On your call.
So when your skull comes to a stop, your brain actually hits off the front of your skull and then back off the back of your skull. We call that a coup contra coup. It can be very dangerous.
So she was the driver. They were going about 50 kilometers an hour.
I'm just glad that the people were wearing their seatbelts and didn't get thrown from the vehicle.
Okay.
If you're not wearing your seatbelt, you turn into a flying object inside that car.
We're going to St. Paul's.
And you can hurt other passengers as well as yourself.
Our male patient ended up acquiring a tear to his mesenteric artery, which caused blood loss to his small intestine, and he required emergency surgery. After his surgery, he made a full recovery.
The driver ended up having a broken pelvis, and it required surgery.
She spent over 3 weeks in the hospital, and months later is still recovering.
Oh my God, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
Base to 28. Responding verbal for a 20-year-old male. He has a dog bite. We'll be looking for city police. They're on scene near Circle and Faithful.
Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. It's the police. There's the police up there.
What happened? He went right over the guardrail and ran into that pole right there. And then I'm assuming that he fled.
When I hear a canine dog bite come in over the radio, I always assume the worst. A lot of times it will depend on how compliant the suspect is. If they kept running and resisted the dog, sometimes the injuries can be very serious. Okay, just right here on the elbow? That's what we're dealing with. Oh, not a full puncture or anything like that, partial on here, but...
It looks very superficial, but you have to really examine it to see if it goes into the muscle at all, because an average police dog could easily rip the muscles from your bones.
Is it pretty tender to touch, like, the whole arm? Yeah? Right. Yeah, it's a pretty small puncture.
It's probably more just painful as heck, but maybe don't crash a stolen car into a light post and the dogs won't chase you.
Did you get knocked out when this happened? No? We aren't biased when we're treating patients. We are removed from the legalities of the situations our patients are involved in.
Are you hurt anywhere else other than in your arm? Didn't get your legs or anything like that? Okay.
So I'm treating this person the same as I would my brother or a sister.
You might even just need a steri strip.
Perpetrator was involved in some rather serious crimes. The fact that he is walking away relatively unscathed speaks volumes of the police for their use of professionalism and restraint when it comes to taking down a perpetrator.
Did you see that crash though? It's pretty juicy. If I could stop yawning for 5 seconds.
I think that you have to think that PTSD is real. We're not bred to see trauma over and over and over again. We see inhumanity, people hurting their children, people hurting their spouses, people hurting other people. You're not bred to see firsthand what inhumanity is.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are halfway through the race, 75 laps to go. Emond really is looking, oh, look at the contact. Oh, we got a problem in the back straightaway. This time it's Kenny Hines. We've got a red flag out. The cars are stopped.
I haven't seen him come out yet.
Base to 1967. You're responding Delta to the racetrack on Highway 2. 25-year-old male. He has hit the barrier wall and is in and out of consciousness.
Okay, no more updates. That's all there is so far. I wonder how fast he was going. They're going pretty fast. Usually if they hit the wall, it's on a corner.
We arrive at the track, the parking lot's a maze, and we're trying to figure out the best way to get to the patient.
Out of my way.
Head along the gate here. We've got the gate open. You're going to go around the pond as far as you can go and then into the pit.
It is difficult to get to our patient. It's a huge facility. There's lots of cars.
20-year-old male.
Yeah.
Who was driving, crashed into the wall about 115 kilometers an hour.
Okay.
Was knocked out for about 2 to 3 minutes. Gained consciousness, is still pretty confused. Keeps asking the same questions over and over again.
Where are we going?
We're going to the University Hospital.
Good job.
Okay,
Kenny lost control on corner number 2. As he was coming to corner 3, he tried to correct and he got tapped and he completely spun around and hit the wall.
So we were told our patient was driving 100 miles an hour. He was knocked out for about 2 to 3 minutes, regained consciousness, but still very confused.
Is it okay? Can we just take this racing suit right off? Might as well keep it if it's expensive.
We don't want anybody cutting it. So.
Yeah.
And I want to check the back before.
At first, Kenny doesn't really seem bothered by any injuries.
All right, Kenny.
Yeah, I felt that already, yes.
And then just lay straight back, okay?
Make sure you load up that car.
They'll take care of your car, Kenny. You okay there, Kenny?
Kenny appears outwardly okay. You're gonna feel the bed go up, okay? But because he hit the wall at such a great speed, we have a high suspicion that there could be internal injuries.
Where are we going?
We're going to the University Hospital. We're gonna have to watch them, those washboards.
Are there airbags in these cars?
There could be a lot of potential injuries. He could have bleeding in his brain. He could have a bruised heart or lungs. He could have bleeding in his spleen or his liver.
What's the last thing you remember?
Come on. That's sad. Honestly, I don't know.
You remember starting the race?
Oh yeah, I remember starting the race. I remember racing
36.9. Okay. And then do you remember crashing?
Did I crash?
Okay, so that you don't remember, hey?
All right, ready to roll?
Yeah.
Where are we going?
We're going to the University Hospital.
The patient keeps repeating his questions over and over. Where are we going? What happened?
Do you remember why we're going to the hospital?
I don't know. I must have been pretty bad.
You hit the wall, okay?
Did I?
Yeah, you were out for a little bit.
I don't remember.
That's okay. That's okay.
It's pretty obvious that he has a concussion at this
You're
point.
gonna be okay, Kenny, okay? We have a collar around your neck for precaution, okay?
A big accident like this can cause an adrenaline rush and an outpour of emotion.
Try not to move your head, okay? I know.
We're taking Kenny to the hospital. They're gonna give him a CAT scan, X-ray, ultrasound. Our patient was in hospital, unconscious for 24 hours. He had a significant concussion, fractured clavicle, and bruising on the left side. He was held in observation for a few days. Kenny hopes to be back on the raceway this spring.
Houston 1936, you're responding Bravo. Truck versus tree. City police are en route. All other information unknown.
So just one patient in there?
Just says truck versus tree, single vehicle.
The report is that nobody's exited the vehicle, so good chance that somebody's unconscious inside the truck.
Jesus, we're gonna hit a tree. At this point, we're unsure of why this gentleman crashed into the tree. He could have underlying medical conditions such as diabetes, or he could just be intoxicated.
Right here. He definitely hit a tree.
You're like fighting with him.
Yeah. When we approach the vehicle, we see 2 police officers in the cab of the truck with a semi-conscious male. What do you guys have here? Has he been talking to you?
No, he hasn't.
No.
So Callie, there's no real impact here. It looks like he just kind of rolled up on it against the tree.
Can you talk? We're the paramedics. Tell me your name. Can you?
Hey.
Just relax. Just. All of a sudden, the patient wakes up agitated. They almost kicked me. Of course, I don't like it when patients kick me, but a lot of times they don't really know what they're doing. 4.8 is his blood sugar.
So probably normal, eh?
So that's pretty normal. He smells of alcohol.
Drinking tonight?
He just kind of drifted into that tree.
Slowly drifting, you're fucking ready with this. Slowly like just drifted.
Police are having to hold him down inside the car. It doesn't seem like he's really cooperating or coherent enough, but can't get anywhere close to him because he keeps threatening violence.
Well, so we're thinking he's just intoxicated.
We're pretty sure this patient doesn't have any injuries.
Yeah, have a seat.
But we're still gonna take him to the back of the ambulance and do a head-to-toe. Can you tell me what happened tonight?
There you go, just like that. Hands in.
Keep him close.
Yeah, he was slouched over, like I was banging on the window and he was tossed off.
Slouched over to the passenger side?
You don't feel any sign of trauma on him?
No, there's not a scratch.
There's no alcohol evidence in the truck, but you can kind of smell it just from him being in there.
I think this guy's very lucky. I think the community's very lucky. He's pretty intoxicated. So the fact that nobody got hurt, nobody's injured, and there's no real damage to any, properties, houses, other vehicles.
Hang on that yellow bar.
Is pretty miraculous in itself. So kind of a rough call with a happy ending.
Anytime I do a call like this and everybody walks away. I'm pretty excited about that. I've done lots of calls where that's not the case. I think about that, and then I think about all the times in life where close calls could have turned into something quite a bit worse. You know, how many bullets have we all dodged in our lives?